Can we use a molecule called rapamycin to improve exercise performance in older adults, resulting in less time spent in rest homes and more time spent doing the activities that we want to do? Well, after months of preparation, I finally finished the trial design that will explore this idea, and I'm very excited to share the rationale with you and the details of the trial. And if you like what you hear, please consider donating to the crowdfunding effort to get this trial underway. Link is below. This is how we can get unbiased, actionable ways to extend human health span. So let's get into it. The overall idea is that if we take rapamycin once a week and combine it with exercise, we can get even greater muscle performance compared to just exercise alone. If this proves to be true, it will be a massive leap forward. We'll finally have a way to remain strong as we age. Because here's the thing. Human muscle, it undergoes remarkable changes with aging, characterized by a decline in muscle mass and strength of about 1% per year from the age of around 40 years old. And a growing body of evidence suggests that as muscle strength goes down, all-cause and cardiovascular death rates go up. But the good news is we've already got a way to slow down this process. If we exercise in our older years, we can improve our muscle strength. The trouble is though, the benefits that we see from exercise, they're less as we get older. For example, if a 20-year-old works out, they're going to get far more muscle strength and fitness benefits compared to if a 65-year-old did that same workout. But that's where rapamycin comes in. Rapamycin, it switches off an enzyme called mTOR, and this is important because when mTOR is switched off, it signals to our cells that they need to do some housekeeping. The cells need to get rid of old structures such as old and damaged mitochondria, and this process is called autophagy. Then when mTOR is switched on again, we can rebuild new proteins, new mitochondria, so it's out with the old and in with the new. In young adults, rapamycin isn't needed because this mTOR balance works beautifully. There are periods where mTOR is switched on, new structures and proteins are made, muscle is built, but equally we've also got times when mTOR is switched off and we can clear away those old components so that we can make way for new ones. And as we age, this process gets disrupted, so instead of a nice balance, mTOR is overactivated in aged human muscles, and unfortunately, this overactivation of mTOR, it doesn't create new proteins. And since mTOR is always switched on, we're never clearing away old components, we're never activating autophagy, so the cells just accumulate these old damaged components. But if we use rapamycin once a week, we may be able to restore this mTOR balance. So for part of the week, we've got mTOR switched off. We're clearing away old components and activating autophagy. But for the rest of the week, we're exercising, we're activating mTOR and building new components, building muscle. Plausibly, this may improve muscle performance in older adults, and by taking rapamycin once a week, we're minimizing any downsides. So, what do the existing trials show? Well, when the interventions testing program trialed rapamycin in mice, it led to a 14% increase in lifespan for females and 9% for males. They repeated that study in 2011 and they found the same thing, where there was a clear extension of lifespan. And importantly, rapamycin, it seemed to slow down the decline in spontaneous activity in males. So that data is very exciting, but we do have to be careful. We need to make sure that by switching off mTOR, we're not causing undue damage. And that's where this 2013 trial comes in. It shows that rapamycin, it does not compromise the muscle mitochondria or muscle endurance. So that's enough about the mice data. What do the existing human clinical trials show? Because we absolutely need to make sure that this therapy is safe. In a study of 13 patients over 60 years old, it was shown that rapamycin was well tolerated. In another trial of 14 people aged between 70 and 93 years old, once again, the treatment was considered safe. Now, in medicine today, rapamycin is used to help stop transplanted organ rejection, so we need to make sure that rapamycin isn't going to cause undue effects on our immune system. To explore this idea, a rapamycin analog was given, and it was shown to improve the response to the influenza vaccine by around 20% in the elderly population. And once again, there were very limited adverse effects. So that initial data does give some evidence that once a week rapamycin dosing appears to be safe for healthy people. And because of all of this excitement, there is another trial going on right now to explore the effects of rapamycin in aging. This trial is called the PEARL trial, and it's a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. And the primary endpoint is changes in fat as measured by a DEXA scan. And while I'm very excited to read the results of the PEARL trial, for me it's not going to answer a few crucial things. What will once-a-week rapamycin dosing do to muscle performance when combined with exercise? Like we've gone through, exercise is a fantastic way to slow down muscle decline as we age. So any intervention that we use to further improve muscle performance in older adults, it needs to be combined with exercise. Which brings us onto my trial proposal. What I want to do is trial once a week rapamycin dosing of 5 milligrams and combine it with 3 times a week rigorous exercise. Instead of a DEXA scan being the primary outcome, I want to use a functional outcome. So I want to know, will rapamycin once a week dosing improve muscle performance? So it makes sense to use the 30-second chair stand test. So this is a test of how many times a person can sit down and stand up in 30 seconds. This is one of the most important physical performance clinical tests because it measures lower body power, balance and endurance, and it relates to the most demanding daily life activities. And personally, I think it's vital to choose a functional outcome as the primary outcome. So I will be measuring a bunch of other things such as DNA methylation, blood tests, DEXA scans, but again, the primary outcome, in my opinion, needs to be a functional outcome. In terms of the trial population, I want to have a look at people aged between 60 and 70 years old, because from the age of 60, that's where it appears that our metabolism tanks and our muscle function declines rapidly. So I'm hoping that with a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, we will figure out, will rapamycin slow down or even reverse this muscle decline process? Patients will participate in 3 times a week exercise training, so on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then they will take rapamycin on Saturday. And it's vital to do this trial properly. We need actionable data on ways to slow down muscle decline in older adults. So performing the correct trial is vital, but equally, it's also important to make sure that we get enough people in this trial. We need to make sure that the trial is adequately powered. So what I want to do is start with a proof of concept study. I want to make sure that the trial design is bulletproof and that we will get actionable results. Once we've done the initial trial, we can use that data to perform what's called a power calculation. This is how we'll be able to know exactly how many people we need in a subsequent, much larger superiority trial. That is my proposal in a nutshell, but if you do want to see the full 20-page summary, you can click the link in the video's description. And here is where I need your help. This initial proof of concept study will cost around $400,000 and I can't reach that alone. So I'm excited to announce that I've partnered with Lifespan.io, which is a non-for-profit crowdfunding platform, and we can run this project through YouTube, so the link is just below. Crowdfunding this trial means that there's no strings attached to the data. There's no outside bias. We can focus on conducting a well-run clinical trial to get actionable data on ways to extend human health span. So if you have the means to contribute to this trial, that would be awesome. Every little bit helps. This is how we can shift the needle, by the community coming together and supporting projects like this. The funds will be controlled by Lifespan.io, who will directly pay the bills for this trial. None of it goes through me, and again, it removes any bias. And with your help, I can't wait to see what we can achieve together.